We are in round 5 of this Affinity GT Manufacturer Series Season 6, League 2. This time around the Group 3 category. From Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. 40-minute endurance ahead of us. And yeah, see who gets the perfect getaway, shall we? Lamborghinis. We'll go through the cars in a minute and the tyres and whatnot. It's all about the run down to turn number 1. As normal, the Supra isn't the best starting car to get off the line. It does bog down quite a bit. Everyone into turn number 1, they get through okay. We've got a new appearance in League 2. We've got TRG Aldo there, currently in car with him. Let's see how he gets on through Eau Rouge. New to the league, did come up from League 3, early promotion for him. So let's see what he can bring to League 2. Dud set in the Hyundai. So yeah, we'll check out Aldo further into the race. We've got the two Ferraris side by side. We've got Dave there in the mix as well. We've got 3 wide. Who will come out on top round here? MLA still in the lead of the race. Rick down to 3rd. James Harbour with a bit of penny above his car. Remember, burn them off within 2 laps. 3 and 3 fuel and tyre wear. Group 3 category. So strategies will come into effect during this race. Who can have the perfect strategy? Who can come out on top? We'll wait and see. Yeah, it's still early. Still trying to wake up. Nath there, just under half a second penny above his car. But we've got Duds to the rear, chasing down Aldo. All in the pack. Quite a tight pack early on. Almost halfway through lap number 1. Duds there on the inside there of Aldo. I'm quite surprised why they went for the M3, Aldo. And I think it's Tricky Tree as well. I would have thought the M6 would have been a bit more performance-wise better than the M3, to be honest with you. But, you know, each to their own. I'm not here to judge. I've always found the M3 to be quite a tricky car. Isn't the best, I would say, on tyre wear. It does eat the tyres, but let's see how they get on. Round number 5. We've got 5 more rounds to go. Heading up towards the final chicane now. Dave on the inside, looking to the inside of MLA. So early on, the Lambos are pushing it quite hard. And what we've seen over time is the Lambos, especially when Dave is in the lead and he's trying to gap the cars behind, but he overeats the tyres. I've seen that for the past couple of races now. If you can get on top of that tyre wear and manage it a bit more. It's difficult on the pad, I get that. But that's his only downfall, is that the tyre wear and the Lamborghini, and James as well, what I'm finding. The two Supras there, 2 teammates, me and Nave, helping each other out. We struggle to start the race, me and Nave. It's all about, you know, getting the tyres up to temperature. We do take it nice and easy. We don't push it like some. We just wait for the tyres to reach that optimal temperature. Then we just let the strategy come into effect. And then just slowly pick cars off. We don't just rush in. That's just our style, you know. We just like taking our time, and yeah, as you can see now, just working together, just helping each other out. Nath early on in the race, the quicker car than me, so I did let him by. I think it was the next lap, but then I got ahead of him anyway. Rick there, done very well at Brands Hatch. Rick, let's see how he gets on around Spa. Having trouble finding the brand sprint quali, so I was hoping to pull it in with this video as well. But if it isn't shared by the time, I know people are working and whatnot, but if it isn't shared by the time I finish this video, unfortunately I'm just going to get this one out, and then brands will have to come out at a later date. I did forget to save it, so it was my fault as well. So yeah, Bazinga to the rear. He has got a teammate now. He did have a teammate, McDaddy, but McDaddy's flat out working. So we got the surfer boy Evan coming back in to League 2 to partner Bazinga in the Aston Martin. Let's see how they get on. Next time after this is round number 6. We head to Dragon Trail Seaside. Not the greatest car for the Total 86, but from practice last night it seems to be okay. It's about on par with the lead runners anyway. MLA there just defending himself from James Harbour from attack. In a couple of laps time, we'll do a lap with the lead runner, probably be Dave. It's been Dave for the past few races, but yeah, already we're not letting the Lamborghinis get away. Racing medium, so it's best to take note of the tyres as well, what people start on, you know, so you can sort of work out what strategy they're gonna be on. Dave, like normal, as I said previously, Dave always does the faster first stint on the racing soft, as you can tell. If you look down your bottom left by the timer there, racing soft, and his fuel as well. Overusing a little bit of fuel, Dave, but he's trying to gap himself, you know, trying to get that gap to when he pits. P1 Valiant racing medium, fuel as well, doing okay, about on par with Dave. MLA using a little bit more than the front two, so he's pushing it in the Ferrari. It's best to take note of the carts, carts. What are we, horse carts now, Darren, are we? So Dave, James, Lamborghini, we've got P1 Valium and Rob, Honda NSX, we've got MLA, and we've got Rick there in the Ferrari, we've got me and Nath in the Toyota Supra for the GR3 and 86 for the GR4. Martin there, I think Martin was, what car is he in? The Hyundai. Yeah, they swapped to the Hyundai. So Martin and the Hyundai, as I said. Aldo in the M3, and it'll be the M4 for the Group 4. Rob with Valiant. We've seen that. Bazinga in the Aston Martin GR4, GR3, and the Hyundai of duds there to the rear. So that's the cars. Tyres, as I said previously, you know, it's up to you what you start on. You can go for the fast first stint, or take it nice and steady, do a slowish first stint, and then push it towards the end of the race. Dave there opted for the races soft, P1 Valium racing medium, so he's opting to go a little bit longer than Dave up in the lead. MLA as well, racing medium, so opting for, James runs it quite wide there, so he's going to have dirty tyres heading into this final chicane, plus putting that penalty off as well. MLA opting for the longer first stint, like James on the racing medium, myself, Nath, Rick, and Martin, Aldo, Rob, Bazinga. So everyone bar the lead runner runs it a little bit deep on the final chicane. Everyone bar the leader of the race, Dave, is on the racing medium. Now, what sort of gap can Dave pull out from the likes of P1 Valium? Yeah, you're looking at between a second and 1.5 slower on the racing medium compared to the racing soft. It says there 2:19.075 is Valium's fastest lap, and we got Dave there on the racing soft for 2:17.310, so about a second and a half quicker to 1.7 seconds quicker. The racing soft is over the racing medium, but over time the racing soft doesn't really benefit you at the start. It benefits you more to the end of the race, because you can push it a little bit more. I mean, some can go on for half an hour, but you know, this man here always pushes it and always does that gap. But as I say, the tyres do fall off, but he's always there, Dave. You know, he's always there. He's always at the top three, in with a shout every race. But let's see what he do around Spa. Lamborghini, brilliant top end, not so good in corners, doesn't like the corners. So James Harben still trying to get past MLA. MLA making his car nice and wide, making it difficult to James to get by, but all the while he's got the Stalkers, which are the Supras, behind of me and Nath. So we're just biding our time. We took it nice and easy, and we were managing that fuel as well, as you can tell, saving a little bit more than the lead cars, the top four. But MLA a little bit wide onto that green AstroTurf. Don't go all four wheels onto that AstroTurf, it will kick you out. As you see from James there, he got the outside wheel, the inside wheels onto the AstroTurf, and the car pushed him out off track. So, and again, he's got to watch himself going into that final chicane. Further down we go, as we said, and again, James is not happy on the medium so far. He's finding it quite difficult. Behind we got Nath, defending from Rick. Rick done, at Brands, as I said, done really well, Rick. What could he do around Spa? Can he bring the same performance? Martin, he's up in 8th. in the Hyundai. So the Hyundai must suit him more than the Mercedes. People do say, look, you know, the Mercedes is like a boat to drive. I'm hearing a lot about that, about the Lamborghini as well. Aldo, drop it back a bit now, but on the racing medium. Tyre wear started to come into effect for Aldo, not massively, but you can see the redness on the tyre information to your bottom left there. Rob in 10th, Bazinga, who was gone already? Dud's left, didn't he? Yeah, Dud's. He's having a difficult race round Spa. You know, Dud's is now down to League 3. We've got Chalky up to League 2. So yeah, a lot of early promotion relegation halfway through the season already. As I said previously as well. League 1 covered by Down for the Count. League 3 covered by the Crazy Brit. Check them out on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. 2 laps. We're going to do an onboard lap with the lead runner. MLA still ahead of James, and I'm quite surprised by this, as I thought James would have done the early push like his teammate Dave up in the lead, but no. I mean, James is just happy to sit behind. Oh, MLA almost lost it. Hit that curb and the rear end of the car didn't like it. So James is happy right about now to sit behind MLA and just let MLA do all the work, and James just sits behind. And likewise to me, letting James do all the work. So the guys ahead of me, the 2 guys ahead, are doing all the work to try and keep, you know, myself and Nate behind, and James, you know, he wants to get past MLA, but MLA's doing a really good job just to defend from James there. Still James cannot get by this Ferrari. Heading down towards the final chicane now. Can James maybe dive to the inside? He's looking for it, so he's doing that faint look to the inside, maybe to try and psych MLA out on the exit of that chicane. As you've seen there, too much power on exit, and James almost lost the rear end. I said I haven't got a bar, just taking our time, me and Nate, 5th and 6th, but MLA slow out of that's the first right-hander. I always forget the names of the corners. We do so many tracks, trying to keep tracks of them, you know, of each corner name and etc. So this is Eau Rouge, you know, the famous Eau Rouge. Really, they should straighten that Eau Rouge. You know, there's been so many incidents lately in real life racing. It's unbelievable. So now I look for the to the right. I think I went for it. Because right about now, I took 2. I think I went try and go for 2. I tried to take 2 of them. James was like holding me up a little bit, because I know he's looking after the tyres and the fuel. But you see by the tyre wear, the Lamborghini's got that heavier tyre wear over to the Supra, and even the Ferraris. With the Ferrari, MLA knows his car in and out. So MLA knows how to manage the tyre wear. And just get on top of that. With Rick, I don't know if it's his first time out, but his tyre wear is a bit more heavier than his teammate who's up in 3rd. So Rick is overusing the tyre, so he's not happy on the racing medium. When will he pit? Remember, it's only 3 laps on the racing medium. When you pit is your choice, you know. Aldo there, just slowly and again, you know, saving that fuel, just managing that tyre wear, letting the car in front again do all the work. Spa isn't the most easiest tracks, you know, over 2 minutes a lap, and it's always left right, you know, so it's always, you know, but yeah, it's one of them. And let's see how Aldo gets on. Rob there, Rob 2:23.39 on the racing medium, just sitting behind Aldo, but there's a massive gap to Bazinga. I mean, Bazinga did say, you know, you boys are too fast, but, you know, it was a different story in the sprint, which will come before Dragon Trail feature race. So how I've done it now is the sprint will be done with the feature. So Brian's sprint should be in with this, the Spa feature, but I forgot to save the replay, and if no one shares it, I need to get this video out there, because it's, you know, it's overdue anyway. Back we go. MLA in 3rd, me in 4th, James in 5th, with Nath now falling back slightly from the rear of the top three ahead of him, which is third, fourth and fifth, which is MLA, me and James Harben. But he is gapping Martin. We have got a couple of drivers missing, which was Marshall and his teammate. So I don't know where they were. Maybe, you know, I know Marshall's daughter hasn't been very well, so busy with that. And I think something else went on with Marshall's teammate, but they were missing this evening. We'll probably see him back round Dragon Trail Seaside. As I said, we got a couple of new drivers, Chalky, and we got Surfer, who will be back. Yeah, Tree, yes. Turkey Tree. Yes, I think it was the Free. Was it the Freeze? If I remember, from a couple of seasons ago. So in a moment or two, we're going to go on board with Dave. Bit of a lap from Dave, you know, it shows how it's done. P1 Valiant just under a second penalty above that car. That's going to hamper him. That may bring MLA, that may close MLA up to the rear of P1 Valiant. What I've noticed with P1 Valiant is when this tyre wear kicks in, he's not happy with the car. When he's got no tyre wear and they're optimal, as you can see there, the redness on all four tyres, he does struggle a little bit, yeah, you know, but, you know, not being big-headed or anything like that, but in this Toyota, me and Nate, we can manage the tyre wear, you know, quite easily, to be honest with you. But Nate, you know, he's overusing the tyres, so I've learnt a lot from different drivers on how to don't brake and accelerate into corners at the same time. It all helps, you know. It helps manage that tyre wear as well. But anyway, Dave, he's heading down to is at the source, turn number 1, and we head down the hill now to the famous Eau Rouge and Radleon straight after. So Eau Rouge is this quick right left, then we head on to Radleon now. Oh, almost lost it. Then we go along the famous Kemmel Straight. Remember back in the day, Michael Schumacher and Mika Hakkinen along here. I mean, 3 abreast down to this turn, what we're coming up now. Still the Kemmel Straight. Les Coombs now, this right-hander, and Hakkinen dive down the inside and got the move done. You know, such a famous move that. And we got this right-hander now, Menamendi. Then we drop down a slight hill, you know, we drop down into a camber section corner, which I call them Brussels for this corner for some odd reason. I wouldn't call it that name. This left-hander now, no corner name for that left-hander. We could this technically a double left-hander corner, isn't it? You know, so it's really flowing. If you can perfect this corner, it's a long left-hander there. Now we drop down to Les Fagnes. I don't know where they got these names from. I have no idea. Dave there drifting that car, and we know he likes his drifting, but mate, you know, your tyre wear is heavy for you now and you're struggling. Campus now, the right-hander. Stavelot as well, this quick right-hander now. Be careful not to run it too wide on the exit. You run it too wide on the exit, as we've seen from James Harben a few laps ago, it can give dirt on your tyres and it will compromise you leading up to the final chicane. And yeah, here we go. You know, we're just flat out. Blanchimont coming up now. The famous Blanchimont. Don't run it too wide. And again, you get dirt on the tyres. And then the bus stop chicane, which I'm going to call it. It's a final chicane. That was a lap from Dave. Not the most tidiest. Struggling with that tyre wear. As I say, with the pad, it is more difficult with the control pad over to the wheel. You can manage tyre wear a lot better with the wheel than you can with the pad, because it's a lot more heavy, as you can see there. So Dave led it from part way through the first lap. Myself, I'm up to second. James Harben in the pits. MLA in third. So tyre wear coming into effect for a few. So a few are struggling. P1 Valley in that fourth. Then we got Nathan fifth. We got Martin in sixth position. We got Rick in seventh. Struggling around Spa. Long way to go, 20 minutes to go, 40-minute endurance. Rob there in 8th. Aldo dropping back a bit now. He's in 9th position. Not a lot of fuel in that car at all. He's got a bit more than Rob ahead of him, so he can probably go an extra lap or two. Bazinga up to 10th, and James in 11th. Round Spa, you were looking at around, I would estimate, a 42-second lap. It was so long, you know, getting the tyres on and refueling. I mean, it took about 28 seconds for the car to even reach the pit box. It was absolutely unreal. So MLA Valium, now I've got buys. It's all about pushing now to try and, you know, extend the gap, but all the while manage the fuel and the tyres, you know. P1 Valium in 4th now, struggling a little bit. Car is a bit slidey on the racing medium, with Nathan 5th. Can he close that gap? If he can close that gap to MLA and P1 Valium, he can go a few laps as well. He can, you know, he can go maybe one extra than P1 Valium, try and get the jump in the pits. We'll wait and see. We'll come back to that. Martin there in 6th position. His teammate left early on in the race, which was very unfortunate. So Martin there in 6th. Rick in 7th. I don't know what the Group 4 car will be like, the Hyundai. I know the Group 3 car is a good all-rounder, but I don't know about the Group 4, you know. And again, some cars are heavy tyre wear with the Group 4. So Dave into the pits. We'll just see how long it is. We come on to him at 20 seconds. So if you look at the timer in the middle of the screen, we're already up to 10. And he's still not arrived at the pit box. I mean, it's around about 20 seconds for him to arrive. 15 seconds, we're still not there. 20 seconds. He's still not arrived. You know, 23. 25 seconds, he's finally arrived. By the time he puts on them tyres, we're up to 30 now. Go on. See, it's so long. We're up to 40 seconds for a pit stop. 43 seconds. And he's been released, so by the time... So we're looking at 45 seconds for a pit stop round Spa. I mean, that is absolutely unreal. You know, that's basically half a lap of this track. Thereabouts. Not half, but almost half. But 45 seconds for a pit stop round Spa. And this is where strategies are crucial round Spa. It's all about doing the longest stint on the tyres and manage that fuel as well. If you can go longer in your first stint, who knows, you could quite possibly reduce your first stop. 22 minutes, so we've got 18 minutes to go in the race, and I can still go on for more. Nath as well. So if you can hit sort of like round the 25 to 30 minute mark, but then I think of it like, yeah, if you can save the fuel, because when you come into pit, change your tyres, you won't have to refuel so much, because if you've overused your fuel, you've got to fuel up for longer, you know. So if you can manage that fuel, so you'll be putting in less fuel than others around you, so, and again, that benefits you, you know. So Martin up to 3rd. I mean, he's having a good race round Spa, and he's not too far behind Nath. Down to myself there, 218.932 on the racing medium. Further down we go. We've got Rob there up to 4th. Aldo battling there with Bazinga 5th and 6th. So let's watch these for a minute. Let's go on board with Aldo. Tyre having a bit of an effect now because he's lifting a lot more around corners. Bazinga in the Aston Martin. I mean, Bazinga's flashing Aldo, so I don't know if anything's happened between these two, but I don't know why Bazinga would be flashing Aldo. Unless something's happened, I'm not quite sure. Let's stay with this for the minute. I don't know if they can confirm if anything happened. I did miss it. We've got cars pitting ahead. 17% fuel I've got left. Nave 12. So yeah, Aldo into the pits. Bazinga as well. So Dave will resume the lead of the race. Now this bit here was crucial. So I've seen Dave go into the lead, and James Harbin, I've seen him pass me anyway. But it's all about, when do I come out? Can I get in between the two Lamborghinis? I'm being released now. James Harbin is there. I'm being released now. So I've got ahead of Valium, which I did in the race anyway. So now, 15 minutes to go the race. The two Lamborghinis are 1 and 2. This time around though, is a different story. Dave is on a slower tyre towards the end of the race. James on the race is off, so James will be pushing it a little bit more. Now the gap between me and James is around about 2.5 seconds. Altogether it's around about 6. Now then, my teammate unfortunately lost out a little bit in the pits. Yeah, he jumped MLA, but I thought he would have been a lot closer to Valium in 4th, but he wasn't, unfortunately. So MLA looking to the inside there with Nath. Will he get the move done? A little bit of contact there, but Nath is still there. MLA goes up to 5th. That little bit of contact didn't help Nath, but you know, we've got 15 minutes to go. So MLA, can he push it? Because MLA's on the race's soft, but hey, the Ferrari will overuse the race's soft tyres, known for it. So Martin down to 7th, still a good race for him so far. Rob in 8th, Aldo in 9th, Bazinga in 10th, and Rick in 11th. He's dead last. He's quite far behind. He's not enjoying Spa, but as we know, all points do matter. No matter where you come. Yeah, the Group 3 Ferrari for Rick, I don't think he enjoys. And as you see now, why was he given a penalty? There was no need to give a penalty there. It was minimal. You know, this game with penalties can become pathetic. Sorry to say it, but it's true. So Dave, leading the race still. 2:17.310. James Harburn pushing it a lot. Over half. What I done is I overfueled the car so I can push it a lot more. You see, I push it a lot more and try and close the gap between myself and the 2 Lamborghinis who are currently 1 and 2. Valium, drop it back a bit now from myself, but what can he do? There's me up ahead in 3rd, and James Harburn go around the source in 2nd, but David's further on down the road. I've seen the gap between me and Valium drop every now and again, but then it did extend in the final minutes of the race. So Nathan 5th got back by MLA, so this is crucial for Nath. If Nath can push it, and again Nath has overfueled the car, just to push it that little bit more, you know, it's all about pushing a little bit more. MLA in 6th, but MLA now will fall into the clutches of Martin, who's running in 7th position. So now, can the guy in 7th, can he get the jump onto MLA? Because in a matter of time, the Ferrari will start to struggle with tyre. Sorry, just checking if anyone shared the brand's sprint race. Unfortunately, the brand sprint race hasn't been shared, so that's gonna have to be done at a later date. I think Rick come out on top at Brands in a sprint qualification, I think, but yeah, so sprint qualification 15 minutes. I normally do save the replay, but I didn't have enough space. I've got enough space now, so that's very unfortunate, unless I can get that out, I don't know, before the next race. But anyway, we're getting a Spa feature race out now. At least they got something to watch. 28 minutes to go. Sorry, 28 minutes in. We've got 12 minutes to go of this race. Now, the gap between myself, James and Dave was closing. So I think around about this time, you know, with help from Nave, the strategy was spot on. If not a little bit better than Lamborghinis. So P1 Valium there in 4th, Nave in 5th. But Nave still got the pressure there from MLA and the Ferrari. So this is going to be holding Nave up to close the gap between himself and P1 Valium. Because Nave has got the attention of MLA. And just lurking there in that 7th position is Martin. In that Hyundai, a lot happier in that car. So they must be, you know, right, we're in contention now with the mid-pack. Let's see where we come. Let's see if we can bring it into the final 4 rounds of the season with the Hyundai. We'll wait and see. So Martin there in 7th. Rob in 8th. So he's got the jump on to TRG Aldo in 9th. But we've still got these two together. We've still got Bazinga and Aldo together on track. Fascinating, really. They're still quite close. So yeah, can Bazinga close up through Eau Rouge? A little bit of a snake on from Aldo there as he reached the top. But the top end of the Aston is really, really good. It's only 6 speed, but it's got a long sip gear. The gap stayed the same, so Aldo, you know, he must be used to that M3 to put it out. But Rick, unfortunately, not having a great night around Spa. Let's see what he can bring around Dragon. I know he likes the Group 4 over than the Group 3. The Group 3 can become a bit of a struggle, but the Group 4 I know he's happy with. He can perform with the Group 4 car. So then, here we are. So Dave on the racing medium needs to be aware of this gap falling, because myself in that third, I am now pushing it. We've got under 10 minutes to go. It's either now or never to make the move. So I look, you know, I'm just waiting for that opportunity. I'm not doing it in the final, or did I do it? Yeah, I did do it. I stayed it. I kept the gap nice and clean. No, see, he had enough room, but James a little bit wide on the exit, the chicane, and so that did compromise him now. It left him plenty of room, you know, so he can't go, oh, Darren pushed me off, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, sorry James, but that was your own doing. But anyway, he can keep behind me, because the top end of the Lamborghini was like, you know, phenomenal, to be honest with you. So P1 Balium slowly closing that gap. I seen it, you know, that's why I made the move to get past James. I seen the gap closing. If I could get past James, then this man here will be fighting James instead of myself. Nate there, still battling away with MLA, and MLA snaking in that car. And yeah, the top of Eau Rouge, I felt the Supra was so fast at the top end, you know, top gear. And it just pulled away. As you can see there, the Ferrari can't get close, even in the slipstream. Absolutely unreal, this car. Getting used to it, enjoying it. It's just the beginning of the race where it bogs down. MLA, Martinez still there. So any error from these two here, he'd be coming on through, you know. Rob there in 8th. Then we got Aldo there in 9th. So Rob's got a big enough gap now. Take it nice and easy. Get some good points haul for his team. Aldo and Bazinga all the while still battling, but Bazinga has closed that gap, so can Aldo push it a little bit more? He's managing them tyres maybe for the final 5 minutes just to push it and keep in night. Bazinga, like I said, in 10th, and Rick there ghosting, so he's not happy. No, he's not happy. I was going to do a bit of an onboard lap with him, see how he got on, you know, see where his struggles were. But yeah, he's had enough. He's fed up. Can't blame him, to be honest with you. If you're not happy with the car. So here we are. James Harpen there. Sitting behind me. And I'm closing to Dave. So, you know, I'm sort of like in a Lambo sandwich. And it oh, a little bit of a nudge there from James. Like, yeah, I'm here, Darren. Just let you know I'm here. I knew you were there, James, you know. You know, on the exit of the final chicane, you know, the Supra pulled away. And I could see Dave, and I think Dave and James are speaking to each other. It seemed like it anyway. So yeah. It's only a matter of time before Dave sees me in his boot. But I think what James was doing here was he was like, right, you know, I need to try and put Darren off to keep his attention to me rather to Dave. So Dave can pull it out or keep it out in front, but we all got strategies, and we all got a teammate. We're a team for a reason. Infinity GT Manufacturer Series, that's what it's called, you know. So it's all about working as a team, getting the maximum points for your manufacturer and for yourself. But the manufacturer part is important because it's all about teams, you know. It's all about teams. So probably James is speaking to Dave, and Dave is speaking to James, saying, right, James, keep Darren behind you. And then James is like, all right, I'll try, but Darren's got ahead of me, Dave, but he's closing to you. So Dave's probably thinking, all right, James, now try and put him off, but difficult, because the thing with the Lamborghini is it isn't great on tyres, you know, and it's true. As you can see there, James Harden overusing the racing soft compared to, oh god, where have I gone? Overusing the racing soft compared to me. Dave on the racing medium's got more tyre wear than me anyway, so this gap was falling, but P1 Valium there, the gap extended a little bit. So I think we're going to focus on the top three for the last couple of minutes. Nath there, so we've got this battle still, and Martinez close to the rear of MLA. So Nath's going to be happy with this now, so Nath can push it out a little bit more, because MLA's attention will be drawn to Martin, who's in 7th. So Nath can probably extend that gap now on the racing source. The tyre wear is hampering him. Rob, Aldo, Bazinga. And yeah, we're going to go up to here now. I think it's important for this lap anyway to focus on this, because now it's closed up for the top 3. Valium can see it, so Valium is pushing it as well. He has closed that gap by around about a second on that lap. By us squibbling and squabbling, it's helping Valium. Maybe that's what the Lamborghinis wanted. They wanted Valium to come up, you know, join the party, so he can get in the way. But this part now was crucial. On with myself, which I don't like doing. I don't like focusing on myself a lot. It's all about the other guys, you know. So up through Eau Rouge now. I had the maximum power. I seen Dave struggling, and it was a matter of time before I pulled to the left. Dave kept it to the right, try and defend a little bit, but unfortunately, you know, the Super had the momentum over the Lamborghini. Top of Eau Rouge, as I said previously, it's got such a good top end, a long 6th gear, that it could just pull out. And with the Lamborghini, I think the Lamborghini is actually 7 speed. So now, this part here as well, from what I've seen, Dave, I think he slowed up a little bit just to let James go on by, because James is leading the championship only by 9 points, and then Dave's 3 ahead of me as it stands now. I didn't get the points. I was meant to put them in this video, which I haven't done. So Dave let James by, whether that was, you know, whether we meant to do it, I'm not quite sure, but a little bit of flashing lights, so maybe it was. So James now will try and push to the rear of me, but I knew what I was doing, you know. I knew, right, you know, now just push. You've got no one ahead of you, no one around you, just push, you know. So this is what I done. I started pushing it for the last couple of minutes to extend that gap, but I know it was difficult with the Lamborghinis. The Lamborghini's top end is brilliant. To P1 Valium there, drifting that car, tyre wear quite heavy now. Can he get the final podium spot? Can he get 2nd maybe? Who knows? Nate there in 5th. Now pulling away now from MLA in 6th. We've got Martin there, drop back now, which is very unfortunate. He's having a really good race, and he could have potentially got 6th, but you know, we know what MLA's like with the defending. He's very good at defending, you know. He won't give up his position so easily. So Martin there in 7th with Rob. A good race for Rob this evening, actually. This was done on a Tuesday evening. It starts at 9 o'clock. Like I said, I haven't said it, but the sprint qualification, the qualification is always done the week previous. As I said, I haven't got the sprint qualification from Brands Hatch, so probably be doubtful I put it in with this video. So TRG Aldo there in 9th, and Bazinga in 10th, and Rick, you know, very unfortunate for Rick being lapped. You don't see that really from Rick, but he was struggling, and let's see if he can bring it back at Dragon Trail Seaside. We're technically on the penultimate lap of the race, I think. Yes, I think we are. So now the gap between me and James is around about 2 seconds, but as you see, overfueling the car helps, because you can push it a lot more than the car behind you, because now James may have to lift a little bit just to save that bit of fuel to get to the end, because Spa is like over a 2-minute lap, 2-minute 10 lap. So the actual fastest lap, I think it was Dave still, 2:17.3. So yeah, now it's all about send that gap to 2 seconds and just manage that gap at around about 2 seconds. All the while James, you know, he's flashing with that fuel. Dave as well, Dave in 3rd. He had a good race, Dave, you know. Went longer on the racing medium than he normally does. He normally does like the 3 laps or 4 laps on the racing medium, but he, you know, he opted to do longer on the racing medium. Did that hamper him? Yeah, but it would have hampered him anyway, because he would have had to pit again, and that's more time in the pit. So P1 Valium now dropped back with Nathan 5th, with MLA in 6th, with Martin in 7th, with Rob in 8th, Aldo in 9th, Bazinga in 10th, and Rick there to the rear in 13th position. This will be the final lap, I think. It was a good race, you know. I enjoyed it coming through the pack. You know, getting the lead late on in the race, but it was done. So it's more points for Team Toyota. Trying to close it up in the manufacturers, but me and Nate will be missing. I think round number 7 it will be, of the 19th. So yeah, we'll both be missing that race. So that's basically handing the manufacturers to Lamborghini. Driver's title, we're not quite sure. So yeah, I come over the line now to take first. Happy with that. With James in 2nd, good result from him, and Dave in 3rd, good result. Valium, good result for Valium. We've got Nath in 5th, coming around the final chicane now. Good result from Nath. Was close early on in the race. MLA in 6th. Martin in 7th. Rob will be over the line in 8th, but Rick's already finished. So Rick there in 11th. We've got Rob coming over the line now in 8th. Remember, if I can't get Brand Sprint in, I do apologise, but Spa Sprint I've saved, and that will be done with Dragon Trails Seaside Feature. Aldo in 9th, first time in League 2. Well done. Bazinga in 10th. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.